I've been seeing electronic gimbals everywhere, from video professionals to weekend warriors with them out on the trail. I have been dying to try one out. So a great company called GearBest sent me one to take out on some of my adventures. I am super thankful that they did, because this will change my approach to spontaneous action videography forever. If you have one of these, you know what I'm talking about. If you don't, pay close attention, because I want to show you how I went from this to this. Now, I want to be clear about this one thing. This particular model is not for your DSLR or big video camera rig. This is for an action camera, like this great SJ6 4K touchscreen Wi-Fi action camera that I reviewed separately. You can see that review at the link above or below, but they went together like peanut butter and jelly, and I've had them out on all of my adventures for the past few weeks. I'll share a bunch of footage in this video, and incidentally, GearBest does have other electronic gimbals similar to this one for other types of cameras. I've had one of these for a while. It's all right, but it's also heavy and awkward. It's passive. It uses balance and gravity to try to keep everything stable. Electronic gimbals are a whole different game. They use sensors and motors to keep that footage super stable. The first time I saw an electronic gimbal, I said to myself, oh, that must be super expensive. And they were at first. But now companies like GearBest are selling a ton of them, so the pricing really has come down. So watch this. It's off right now, so the camera's just sort of hanging there. But it's electronic, so you turn it on and it says, ready for action. And if you're like me, you say ready for action every single time while the gimbal just goes ahead and quietly does its job. Let me tell you guys, I really tried to fool this gimbal, but it just delivered. I took it sledding, and then Raymond snatched it from me on a desert trail and barnstormed down the trail, barely missing shrubs and cactuses. I was so nervous, but the footage ended up really cool. Also, anytime that I'm talking action photography, I want a setup that I can put into my backpack and just take out periodically. I do not want to be required to hold on to something if I'm laboring out of the Grand Canyon and just need to put my head down and get myself out of the canyon. The overall form factor will likely fit in among the rest of your outdoor gear, just like it does mine. You just take it out, turn on the camera and the gimbal, and you're leaping around getting super stable footage. It's easy to grip and to capture that super stable footage that you've probably been seeing almost everywhere these days. I used it on a warm desert hike, but I also used it in the snow when I had on puffy snow gloves, and I didn't have any trouble keeping my grip or turning it on or off or anything. There's a few modes and ways to configure the gimbal, and there's instructions for all of that. Really, it just comes down to turning it on, and then you can fine-tune your angles with the joystick that's on the back. But once you've got it the way you want, it really is set and forget. The last thing that I want to have to do is think about it. I just want to grab it and go on my adventure. And that's what I did. There's batteries that go right into the stem here, and I used it on and off for hours without any battery concerns. For each outing, I just took it home and charged it up. Oh, and it grips the SJ6 and some other action cameras with very stable screws and this little small cage. This camera is great, and I put a link to it in the description below. But when you take a camera like this and you pair it with a gimbal like this, it really comes to life. They're a great happy couple. I used to think that gravity gimbals and Steadicam setups were the best thing in the world. But once I started running around with this lightweight, smart little guy, my thinking has changed quite a bit. In fact, I don't see myself going on a SnapChick adventure without it. Let me know in the comments if you use a gimbal now and what it is, or if you've been thinking about one.